Main base of the Red Terran. His name is Maru, and you've heard his name quite a bit recently because he's been doing pretty well in GSL as well.
And his opponent in the bottom right, in the blue, for IG Gaming, he is MACSED. Of course, FireBird. MACSED is one of those old names, one of those up-and-coming Chinese Protoss from back at Heart of the Swarm. That well, they kept up and coming, they kept up and coming, they kept up and coming, and they looked good, but they never really broke through into that next level that we really expected. When we talk about MACSED, we talk about Jim, and talk about these players that, when they came out of China, when the servers opened up, everyone kept thinking that, man, these players, we've heard fantastic stories, these players are going to win championships on the international circuit. And they never quite did. They looked good, and they definitely took some big wins. But we never really saw that fantastic, that next level that we kind of expected out of these top players from the Chinese scene.
Yeah, and I think some of it does just come down to when you were looking at when they were coming out. I think it just came down to the region lock, of course, for StarCraft 2. I think did cause a lot of differences in play. You saw different metas kind of develop in different areas, and I think it did take players like MACSED. I think it did take them a little bit to kind of adjust to get used to it. They did obviously have some really good performances. I don't think they were ever really able to catch up. Now that being said, MACSED has been doing, I think, better recently. We talk about, of course, he was always kind of that up-and-coming player. I think he has been getting some decent results in some like the Alina League Weeklies or the EPT Cups. He's gotten some very good results beating, Zest. Of course, Zest sometimes can be inconsistent, but still, he has been putting out some good results. So it's nice to see that he's still, at least still relevant. Because some players, you do see it where they struggle to really, they really struggle to make it, and they just kind of end up giving up. With that being said, Maru has scouted this very, very aggressive proxy. We do see a kind of a pseudo max packs coming out from MACSED, and it gets scouted out. So, I mean, I don't really know if this is going to get any damage done.
Yeah, this is a bit more aggressive version of a Max Packs build. Yeah, it comes a little bit later. It's not the double zealot version where you just kind of proxy that. Oh, we got a second pot. Man, what are you doing, MACSED? This is pretty cool. But yeah, you don't see the double zealot in the natural here that goes on immediately. No, this is maybe a little bit more powerful, but it's also a little bit more committed where you do get that gateway a little bit later. Actually, okay, no, that's going to be proxy Stargate, so this is kind of like the parting build, right? The 16 gas parting build, and nice body blocks there. So that is a dead stalker. Okay, Maru. For those of you that are wondering, this player is Maru. He's probably the best Terran player in the world, and he just showed us there exactly why. As the SCVs did a fantastic job of body blocking that stalker, and when it overcommitted just slightly. And Maru, is he going to find this?
Oh no! Oh my! Is he gonna? He's looking for it. Oh, SC2. What? Dude, Maru. I mean, he's just so on top of this scouting. He sees the proxy. He's like, you know what? I don't think that's all. Looks for the proxy target, finds it. Also, I mean, that body block, sorry, on the stalker was, as you said, just absolutely beautiful. That little micro trick to just get an extra kill there to slow down this rush. And MACSED, I mean, he really committed to this early aggression. And Maru, just on top of it, says, no, I'm just going to shut all of it down easily. I'm not even going to skip a beat. I'm going to be on top of my, worker production and have my natural base up.
Absolutely, and of course, I love this. We do have a tech lab on the way here from Maru, so he will have a Raven to make sure that there are no additional shenanigans. Although, I mean, I think most likely, yeah, okay, it's going to be medevac drop here first and foremost, because there is no tech lab on the starport. Ladies and gentlemen at home, I lied to you. That's my job as a caster. That is my prerogative. I'm never going to tell you what's actually happening. I'm just going to tell you the story I want to tell regardless of what's happening here. So we have MACSED going to run it into the natural, and I think he's going to get 3 SCVs. That should be the extent of things. Of course, Maru, he has enough Marines. He has a Cyclone. This will be warded off. And FireBird, I am pretty sure getting 3 SCVs is not quite the level of damage that MACSED was looking for with this build in this game, as aggressive as he wants to be. You know what? I think it's not looking all that great for the Chinese Protoss player here in this first game.
Yeah, I mean, you commit the gateway on the proxy and then another pylon additionally outside of your base, plus the Stargate. You need to get damage done with that. You can't just be kind of satisfied with 3 workers. And of course, he's going to get scouting info out of it. He sees, oh, wow, there's still a lot of Marines coming out. But I really don't know what MACSED has at home. I mean, you're already looking at the army supplies, and it's more than double in the favor for Maru. MACSED's going for Blink. That's not going to be done by the time this push hits, and there's going to be a tank with this. So I mean, Maru, he's shown that he's quite good with the tank pushes on this map. He managed to kill Estrella with just a single tank below that main base there. So we'll see how much damage is going to get done. Oracle back in, does get 3 more workers, but is then forced away. So Oracle getting a bit more value, but, you know, as many workers as you kill, you still got to deal with this push at the front.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we look at this, we do have, of course, Maru. He's bringing a couple SCVs with this, too. I don't know if this is just for repair or if he plans to drop a bunker, but you're right. This is an incredibly powerful push coming on in here. And yeah, there's some shield batteries, but look at this. Maru's not even really fighting the arm. Now he is, but he's not even fighting the arm. He just said, shield battery. If that dies, I win this game. That's a pretty good idea there. So he's going to keep moving on in. And yeah, there's no stim, but we got the bunker rush coming on in there. Maru able to target down those shield batteries there at the back of the base too. And honestly, the shield batteries at the back, they're not going to be nearly as impactful. Maru is going to be able to get the siege on up here. He's talking about killing Australia with 1 tank. Well, Maru's got even more to work with this time. He does have that tank, he has that Cyclone, the landed Viking, because why the hell not? We got a lot of stuff here, and I don't really know what MACSED is really supposed to do to try to make this hold happen.
Yeah, I mean, MACSED would have needed to maybe get the Cyclone there, but now Maru, he's on top of it. A little bit of micro there in the medevac to keep it out. It's going to repair it on up. I mean, again, Maru he gets so much value out of these units. You never see a game where Maru doesn't repair something up. If it's low on health, he makes sure that his health is. Now the Stalkers, they have to go in here and try and get something done, but they can't even focus down the Raven. The Viking's still alive. Nothing has died here for Maru aside from Marines, and the Nexus is going to go down. Maru just, I mean, he gets an advantage, and he makes absolutely everything work with it. It doesn't matter how well prepared you think you are. Yeah, he's just going to march this up to the main. MACSED, I don't think he can hold this. This is probably going to be a GG.
I mean, MACSED may be hoping on some Dark Templar, but you got to remember there, of course, there's a Raven there, and MACSED cannot get on top of it. There we have it. GG. Maru, he takes game 1.
You have Maru, Terran from NV.
And in the bottom left, in the blue, he is MACSED. And thank you for the eggs. I think those are tips, something. Anyway, of course, Sushi, being the fantastic proprietor that he is, going on, adding to the channel there. But what we're going to have to see here is what MACSED is actually doing, because I don't see a probe on the map just yet. In fact, I see the first gateway going on in. But, well, of course, we all know that that second pylon was a little, or that second gateway was a little bit later in game 1. It was gated home than gate abroad, and there's a probe on the map, but I think this is just scouting to make sure that Maru's not, you know, dropping a couple proxy barracks in MACSED's face after that 1-0 lead. Get that quick 2-0, win the first series, even before, you can say, Juggernaut. All right, that's a nice long word that is longer than it takes to say. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for MACSED here, it's going to be strange because now he has to go into a macro game right after that. And the real question is, does he go into a purely macro game, or does he say, okay, I still want to try and kill you in, you know, a bit of a cheeky way here, go for, you know, an all-in or a timing attack or something like that. There's a lot of options available on this map just because it does have, I mean, for such a large map, it does have an extremely short rush distance with those accelerator zones. So you can see Protoss pull out a bit of shenanigans, but, you know, again, you always have to look at it and say, well, it's the Maru factor as well, where even if you do go for that, the question is, if you can kill every other player on the planet, can you kill Maru? You're still not sure.
Yeah, and I do like this for Maru. This is a adaptation we've seen a lot of Terran players start moving towards. We see Beyond do it a lot as well, where this parting build, right, where you get a delayed gas there, you get 2 gates at home, 1 gate abroad. It's like it's a 3-gate pressure with a Nexus on the way, or with a Nexus, I should say. It's almost impossible to hold your low ground, right? That's the scary thing. So what we've seen Maru and Beyond in particular start doing here is they get their natural on the high ground, right? They don't do anything particularly weird other than that, but they do get their natural started up on the high ground, so they don't suffer nearly as much from this 3-gateway pressure that we have seen players like Maru and a couple other players at this point start to adapt. So I do like that for Maru. Of course, that's not what we see here from MACSED. No, he's just going for kind of your standard opener. It will be a Twilight opener on in here. But this adapt is going to look to... Oh, yeah, I'm going to go look. I'm going to try to see if I can find and maybe delay that command center. No, it's not going to work.
Yeah. He does get a nice scout there, sees that it's a reactor on the factory, which pretty much lets you know, okay, it's either going to be Hellion drop or Widowmine drop, and both kind of have a similar preparation for, but it is, so it's going to be the 2 Hellions into the 4 Widowmine, not Widowmine, wrong vowel, Widowmine drop from Maru, and this is a build that he's been doing quite a bit in just regular standard macro games. You saw him skip the Reaper just to get that factory out a little bit quicker, so it's not your standard timing, and pretty much all that that does is it's just saying, hey, if you don't scout, this might come out a bit sooner than you were expecting. It might land in your base faster than it normally does, and that can throw some Protoss players off.
Absolutely, and notice here, there is not really that much of a wall there in the natural, but okay, there it is. As I say that, we got a full wall in the natural. So theoretically, it means these Hellions are not going to be able to get. Now, of course, it's Maru. Maru is able to do things with his Hellions, with his Marines, that, you know, players to be named later, or players that we're not allowed to say the names of anymore, could do with their Zerglings. So it's always a question of how much damage Maru is actually going to get done here. As now we have the drop coming in. And of course, this is scouted, so Maru probably shouldn't get a ton of damage with this, but yeah, again, you never know. So we will see, of course, the 4 Widowmines dropped on top of the army here. And we should, there we go, the sentry's going to get not targeted down. But anyway, 3 workers died for 4 Widowmines. That's not exactly what you want, but I believe a Stalker died as well. Yeah, that, you know, this is fairly decent. It's kind of the minimum damage you would expect.
Yeah, that's a move that Maru's been going for a bit more recently against Protoss, where he just drops the Widowmines straight on the army if they're all at the front, then moves in the Hellions, but he actually decided to keep the Hellions out, moves them into this medevac, and they're not going to be able to get too much done. But yeah, it was really nice there for MACSED that he ends up scouting it with the hallucination, sees that, oh, this is like a 4-minute Widowmine drop, not the usual Widowmine drop. It comes in around 5 minutes. So just nice scouting there. He knows exactly what's going on, and even then, with the Stalker and the Depth killed, you want more damage with that if you're the Terran, because you committed quite a bit to just get those early Widowmines. It means that your stim's going to be later, it means that you're not going to have tanks as quickly, and you're just going to be just a little bit delayed in getting at those tech units.
Yep, this is true, but of course, Maru, he's got a bunker here, he's got a full wall. The one thing, of course, as you mentioned, is the lack of tanks is going to be a little bit problematic potentially. As Max said, he did go for a blink build, but I believe this is... Oh, no, this is at least 3-gate blink, so we will see, of course, the Adepts, excuse me, the Stalkers try to get aggressive here. I don't see how he has vision on the high ground just yet. I don't know if we have any observers. I did miss that coming on in. But now the Stalkers, they're going to shark around, maybe see if they can get something done, but it looks like MACSED not all that interested in committing, and that just gives Maru license to maybe try to get something done in the main base with these 2 Hellions. Of course, it takes 3 Hellions to actually one-tap a probe, so it's gonna be a little bit slower damage for Maru than one would normally be, but, you know, some damage there is always going to be nice. But now, nice move, a nice body block from the Stalkers. Hellions are not going to get much of anything done at all. There we go. Stalkers going to be able to blink on top. There we go. No damage. MACSED looking a lot better in these in this game than he did in game number 1. And look at this, FireBird. A, that is a lot of gateways going on down right now. But B, we're going straight into charge. We don't really see a Robo Bay. We don't see anything like that. MACSED is saying, look, Maru's an aggressive Terran, right? Against aggressive Terrans, what's the best way to do? We're going to add a lot of gateways. We're going to maybe add a forge later. And we're just going to go into mass charge lots. Oh, there we go. He's going to get the medevac anyways. But yeah, MACSED going into this mass charge lot style that players like Zest have really been taking advantage of. Of course, this is a build that really originated in Europe and North America with Estrella and Hellraiser and Skillus and all of those players. But now we're just going to have to see how aggressive Maru opts to be. Now, he looks like he's moving out here, but the number that we're looking for really... Oh, is he going to get the Raven? No, he won't. Okay. Of course, the thing that we're really looking here is when the bunker gets canceled or gets salvaged, that's when you know that Maru is truly getting aggressive, or Terran players are getting aggressive in general.
Yeah, there's the bunker getting salvaged right away. Workers are going to heal up the Raven, and yeah, I mean... The scan goes down to scout, but you don't really see too much. MACSED actually waits until the scan's over to start warping in those zealots. And, I mean, this is just an unfortunate build matchup. Of course, you're going to have a really strong army as Maru, but you also have MACSED who's going for this gasless third base, just mass gateways, trying to get as much as he can. But MACSED, oh no, MACSED is hugely supply blocked. He can't build anything.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem, and you know what? Okay, Stalkers will blink on top of the tank. They're doing what they can. Zealot's getting on top of the tanks as well. As we do now, well, you know, one way to get rid of a Spell Block is losing a lot of your army. And unfortunately, Max said he went for the good build, but that build is really good against pure Terran armies that move across the map. When you have so many SCVs to buffer things, suddenly it's a bit more problematic. Now, all of these tanks will go down, sure. Actually, just barely with a nice SCD repair there. But there is still an army here for MARU. It's one of those things, I got the tanks. That is the beef push, absolutely gone. But, I mean, there's still 30 supply of stimmed bio now into your main base, or into your natural. And unfortunately, I don't think that MACSED is quite enough what he needs to make that happen here. Now the natural will go on down. Another tank rallying on in, and MARU looks like the supply block from MACSED and just the build choice here of choosing to pull the SCVs instead of just moving out with a bunch of army. That build choice looks like it's absolutely going to win MARU this game number 2. Give himself a nice 2-0 lead and put his team 2 maps away from actually just winning this week straight up. There we have it. GG MACSED. He's going to tab out MARU, take the 2-0 victory.